So for January, I read 5 books. It wasn't planned actually. I just said I'm going to read more fiction, more books this year. And I just started picking up different books, and before I knew it, I had read 5 books. So I'm going to talk about the books I read, and I'm going to rate them based on how much I enjoyed them. This is not a review, it was just based on how much I enjoyed them. The first one I read was After to Baby by Fatima Bala. See, I love Fatima. There is nothing anybody can say about Fatima. Although I'm going to give this book 9/10 because Fatima led me on and broke my heart. I don't like the way it ended with Afsat and Sadiq. Fatima, why? Why did you do that to me? You'd have just focused on Zuwaira's story and Ibrahim, and I'll be good, okay? You broke my heart, so I'm going to give you a 9. But it's a good book. You should actually pick it up and read it. Um, Another one I read, I had to write it down so I don't forget my points. Another one I read was Ginika's Bridesmaid by Adesunwa Wokede. I'm going to give it a 10 because it did what it was meant to do. The romance was on point. In fact, when it ended, I was like, has it ended? I need more. I need more of Aran Chooks. I need to see that. It was really good. I liked the way, he had a lot of message, but he did what he needed to do as regards fiction. I was lost in their world. It was a beautiful book. The third one I read was Cars After Hamatan by Cynthia Tasha. I really liked this one, and I'm going to give it a 10 because she took us through different times. She took us through the 90s, she took us through the early 2000s and the late 2000s. And it's not easy for a writer to take you through different times and still maintain the essence of the story. As in, Cynthia did a lot with that story. She made a lot of very profound statements, but she was still able to make it very interesting, and she was still able to preserve the romance. So yeah, I'll be waiting for Salim and Makamba. So Cynthia, take your turn. Allow me to introduce myself by Onyi Mwabinelli. Actually, wasn't supposed to read this book. I read it because of my book club, but I'm gonna give it a 5. It was a good story. She had something going on. It was unique. It was different from all the other stories I've read. But her writing style didn't do it for me. It was chaos, chaos, chaos all the way. So I'm gonna give her a 5/10. Purple Hibiscus. I read Purple Hibiscus because I was invited to co-host the podcast to talk about books. So I needed to read Purple Hibiscus because we're going to discuss Purple Hibiscus. I had read Purple Hibiscus 16 years ago. Sorry, no, 10 years ago, 2016. But I had the book, the physical copy of the book, so I just pulled it up and read it again. And it's Chimamanda, she's Queen Mother. How can I give her no less than a 10? The Queen of Description? What? The prophetess? A lot of the things, her words are timeless. Timeless. Anyway, so those are the books that I have read. I'm going to read more in February, so you can recommend books to me in the comments. Just recommend anything you feel like I need to read. Nigerian books, recommend to me.